What's up, everyone? Welcome back for what will be the conclusion of this game. Alright, so continuing on with talking about different things that have happened to me this past year and just things in general, my overall thoughts and shit on major events in my life. So arguably one of the most major events, if not the most major event that has happened to me this year is that I am now living at my dad's house instead of my mom's house. Because earlier in the year, in my honest opinion, my mom kind of lost it. Like, she's been legitimately stressed out lately and shit. And to be honest, I never really thought she was all that great at handling stress. I really don't. So I don't know if it's because she was, like, stressed out or whatever. She was, like, taking it out on me. But I had been living at my mom's house, like, literally my entire life. So, she got it in her head one day that apparently I don't do enough stuff around the house, which, again, as I have mentioned before, was a complete load of bullshit. You know, because I would literally spend, especially during, like, the summer, I would spend, you know, like, an hour every, like, couple of weeks, every, like, maybe week and a half on average. I would spend a complete hour of my time, you know, mowing her yard. And by the way, she has a big-ass yard. It's, like, an acre big, almost. Actually, probably closer to, like, 0.75 acres or so. For those of you guys who are familiar with that particular measurement. Which, for those of you who aren't, I'll just say this. It's a big-ass yard, you know. It takes a long time to mow my mom's yard. So, you know, I would literally mow her yard during then. During the winter, I would help her shovel and shit like that. You know, I would do the dishes. I would take the garbage out. I was basically the caretaker of the animals. But somehow she got it in her mind that apparently I don't do enough stuff around the house, which was a complete load of bullshit. So she gave me an ultimatum. She basically told me if I don't change my ways or whatever, that she was going to kick me out of the house. And naturally, I didn't change my ways because I will always unapologetically be myself till the day I die. If you don't like how I operate or how I do things, you can go fuck yourself because I don't give a shit. You know, so, you know, I didn't do anything differently. I just kept doing what I did, and she didn't like that apparently because apparently I didn't do enough stuff around the house, which, again, was a complete load of bullshit. However, I will say this. She did at least have the decency to sit down and chat with me about it, you know, and have, like, an intelligent conversation, you know, person to person. So I can respect that. At the same time, though, I still think the whole situation was pretty fucking stupid, you know? That being said, I did eventually decide, because after that conversation, we kind of, you know, came to a bit more of an understanding. I still decided in the end it would be better if I moved out of there anyway, because I figured I'd be a lot more peaceful, I guess. However, that being said, I quickly realized once I moved to my dad's house that no matter where you're living, if you're living with other people, you're always going to have issues. There's always going to be problems. It's never going to be 100% relaxed, for me personally, when I'm living with other people, because I am not naturally a people person. I like to be left alone. I like to do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. And I like to be completely unimpeded in that effort. And when I'm living with other people, I'm just not able to do that. So I am now more motivated than ever to obtain my freedom. And again, it doesn't have to be glamorous at first. You know, if I'm living in some small little apartment in some not so great neighborhood, so be it. You know, so fucking be it. So long as I got a lock on my door, a gun in my cabinet. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have any guns. I have swords, though. I do have swords. And some baseball bats. A couple of baseball bats that I actually got from my stepbro back in the day. Used to belong to him, but given that he's dead now, I don't think he's going to have much use for a baseball bat, you know? I mean, unless he comes back from the dead, you know? Zombie and shit. Yeah, but unless that's the case, which I highly doubt it, because this isn't The Walking Dead, highly doubt he's going to have much use for, you know, a baseball bat. So that's why I ended up with those two of my most prized possessions are the 2 baseball bats that used to belong to him. So, I mean, I have modes of protection, so even if I do live in a shitty neighborhood, you know, again, I just want the same thing that I have always wanted. You go back and watch some of my videos from like 4 years ago, you will hear me talk about the same exact thing because it's always been the only thing I've ever wanted. I just want to live a quiet, peaceful life. That's all I've ever asked for. That's all I've ever wanted in my entire life. It's just to live a quiet, peaceful life. And I was hoping that moving to my dad's house would be a step in the right direction. However, I think in part it was the smart thing to do at the time, but now I'm convinced that it wasn't necessarily a step in the right direction. That being said, I feel like financially it was the smart thing to do because my mom was going to start charging me rent for living at her house, which is fair, you know. I can understand why she would charge me for rent. You know, I wasn't necessarily mad about that. However, my dad was offering a better deal. Free. You know, he wasn't going to charge me rent. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, let's think about this. You know, maybe mentally things will be a bit more laid back at my dad's house, you know. So there's that. I won't be able to do as much stuff at night and whatnot, you know, as far as like recording videos for you guys and shit. So I kind of had to think about that as well. But financially, it was the smartest thing for me to do because, again, you know, my mom was going to start charging me rent for living at her house, which, again, I totally understand, you know. You know, there's bills to pay and whatnot, but my dad was offering a free ride. And my dad's house isn't quite as nice as my mom's house, but when you're being offered a free ride, you know, as much as I've learned, you know, you always go with the better deal. If you can get a sale on something, you know, or find a good deal on something, then yeah, you know, pull the trigger on that deal for sure. So it was just financially the smart thing to do at the end of the day. So I feel like financially it was a step in the right direction for me. However, that being said, as far as like, you know, mentally, I'm not entirely convinced it was the right step. However, that being said, it's not really worse than living at my mom's house in any way. I don't think, so I don't know. It was kind of interesting in its own way, you know. Moving to my dad's house, giving me kind of a fresh, different perspective on things. So I will say, if nothing else, it has been interesting. So, not a complete waste of my time. Definitely not a complete waste of my time. So, it is what it is, you know. But I feel like moving to my dad's house has taught me one thing, and that is that I will never be truly happy. I feel like I'll never be truly happy until I have my own living space to call my own little home to call mine, even if it is just some small, crummy little apartment somewhere. I just want to obtain my peace and quiet. I want my freedom. This is America, land of the fucking free. It's about goddamn time I got my freedom. So, maybe this next year I'll get a better job or something and maybe be able to afford my own apartment or some shit. So, I'm really hoping so because I just really want some peace and quiet in my life. I just really miss that. So, but yeah, moving to my dad's house has definitely been interesting. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. Plus, with some of the videos I'll be uploading soon, because again, I pre-record all my videos several months before I actually upload them. This is one of those rare exceptions where I'm recording these just a few days before I'm going to upload them. But some of the videos coming up are some of the videos I recorded right when I, first moved to my dad's house, and I'll be uploading those videos pretty soon coming up. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. There's some good shit too, some very good stuff. Had some good recording sessions right when I got to my dad's house, and it was interesting. So, yeah. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. So, I'll see you all next time. Peace out.